What's good, y'all? I'm Stevie,
I'm Savannah.
and this is Bold and Blunt. Today, we got another Monday mystery for you, and we're unraveling one of America's most gruesome unsolved mysteries, the Cleveland Torso Murderer. Alright, so Cleveland, Ohio in the 1930s. The Great Depression has left thousands homeless, and Kingsbury Run, a desolate ravine, is home to transients and shanty towns. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm just getting over being sick, so I'm hoping I can say all these words. Just bear with me. In this forgotten corner, a serial killer begins a reign of terror. From 1934 to 1938, at least 12 victims are found dismembered, their torsos scattered like grim trophies, heads missing, some bodies are chemically treated, and the killer taunts police with notes. They call him the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run. Despite the efforts of legendary lawman Eliot Ness, the killer's identity remains a mystery to this day. Who was he, and why has this case haunted us for nearly a century? Cleveland Torso's murderers' victims were often transients or people that were overlooked by society. At least 12 were killed, though some believe the number could be as high as 20. Only 3 were ever identified: Edward Andrassy, a 29-year-old hospital orderly; Florence Polillo, a 44-year-old woman; and possibly Rose Wallace, a 40-year-old prostitute identified by dental records. The rest, all nameless John Does and Jane Does. Here's what made these crimes so chilling. The killer dismembered his victims with surgical precision. Heads were often severed, some never found. Others were treated with chemicals to obscure the identity. Bodies were dumped in Kingsbury Run near railroad tracks and even in plain sight, like the 1938 discovery near City Hall, visible from Eliot Ness's office. One victim, the quote-unquote tattooed man, had 6 distinct tattoos, yet no one ever claimed him. Another, dubbed the Lady of the Lake, washed up on Lake Erie in 1934, possibly the killer's first victim. The brutality was relentless. Victims were drained of blood, organs removed, and some showed signs of being killed at the dump site. The Mad Butcher wasn't just killing, he was staging a nightmare. The investigation. Enter Eliot Ness, the man who took down Al Capone himself. As Cleveland's public safety director, Ness threw everything at this case. His team interrogated over 9,100 suspects and scoured Kingsbury Run. Detective Peter Marilow, a key investigator, even went undercover as a hobo to track leads, but the killer was always one step ahead. The Mad Butcher taunted authorities, placing bodies in bold locations and reportedly sending notes. In 1938, Ness ordered the shantytowns of Kingsbury Run to be burned to disrupt the killer's hunting ground. The murderers stopped soon after, but was that all a coincidence? The lack of forensic tools in the 1930s meant evidence was scarce. There was no DNA testing back then. The case grew cold, leaving Ness with one of his greatest failures. There was a main suspect, though. One name stood out: Dr. Francis E. Sweeney, a surgeon and a cousin of Congressman Martin L. Sweeney. Sweeney was a troubled man, an alcoholic with mental health issues. His surgical skills matched the killer's precision, and he lived near Kingsbury Run. Eliot Ness interrogated him for a week, and Sweeney failed 2 polygraph tests, yet there was no hard evidence, no blood, no tools, no confession. Bruh, if this is the Maury show, he's cooked. He's cooked, bruh.
Dude, Steve would have threw a fucking chair at his ass and told him to get off his
You're
stage.
a goddamn liar. Okay, here's the kicker, though. After Sweeney committed himself to a sanatorium, that was right? Sanatorium. Yeah, let's go. The murder stopped. In 1954, a postcard arrived, supposedly from an asylum inmate claiming to be the killer. Was it Sweeney? We'll never know. He died in 1964, taking any secrets with him to the grave. Other suspects like Frank DeLozal were investigated, but none panned out. Some even theorized multiple killers or a connection to a similar crime in Pittsburgh. The truth still remains unsolved. Okay, so fast forward to 2024. The Cleveland Torso murderer case is not dead. The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office with the DNA Doe Project is exhuming 2 victims, the tattooed man and another Jane Doe, for DNA testing. Funded by a single donor, this effect aims to identify the victims and just maybe point to the killer. It's not easy. The remains are nearly 90 years old, and degradation is a problem. But as of 2025, initial results are promising, with hopes of building family trees to name the nameless. This could bring closure to the families who never knew what happened to their loved ones. The Mad Butcher may have escaped justice, but science is rewriting that history and actually bringing closure to some of these families. The Cleveland torso murderer left a scar on history. 12 lives and maybe more stolen without answers. Was Dr. Sweeney the mad butcher, or does the truth lie elsewhere? As DNA testing continues, we may finally learn who the victims are and who the killer is. Let us know in the comments what y'all think. If you think Sweeney actually was the killer, I mean, it matches up to me. The motherfucker was a doctor with surgical precision, with alcoholic problems and anger, and we're living right next to him. Failing 2 polygraphs is all but sold for me. Like, it had to have been Sweeney, right?
It just makes sense that it would be him. Like, who else could it be? Because, like, he locked himself up.
But to be fair, though, like, 2 weeks of investigation to hold up and not have any evidence presented against you when you are the main suspect. For 2 weeks, they were investigating you. And this is the man that locked up Al Capone. So, like, he knows how to get the conviction, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. When it comes to murders, there's a lot of people that know how to hide it.
That's true. There is a whole show called How to Get Away with a Murder.
Exactly.
But let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all the good shit. And keep coming on Mystery Mondays. We'll keep coming with them.